Hey guys, how you doing? Right, okay, I've finished getting over the whole new effect and everything like that. What we're going to work on is now we're going to go down to some nitty gritty bits. And I'm going to do some of the skulls on here. What we're going to use is this. It is, let me just get that in proper. It is Calthan Brown. It's a foundation one. You can use any kind of brown, but I'm basically just going to use this one. And all we're going to do is just paint on to where we want skull colours. We're going to do this. So again, we can be quite messy at this point. There's no need to be detailed. We're just going to plonk that on. So nice and simple first off step. I'm going to try and keep the videos a little bit shorter now because I know the beginning ones were quite long to say the least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around doing the whole thing, doing all the skull colours with this bit, bone colours, and then we'll move on to the next part, so I shall catch you in a moment. Okay, we've got that bit done. Now we're going to work on using this old school Commando khaki. So I tend to do it in 4 layers for bone effects. First off, put a brown down. As I said, you can use other browns. There's no rules saying you have to use that one. It's just what I do. Okay. And then with this, I'll tell you what, we screwed it all up there. Make sure you water these down, okay? Because what we want to do is we don't want this going down thick. We want it going down kind of light. So let's get the water off the brush. So we're just going to go down, follow the ridged line of the skull. Go down. So, but try if you can leave the deepest areas brown, and since you thin it down, it doesn't come out nice. It doesn't come out thick, so you get a little bit of forgiveness with it. So it doesn't matter too much at this stage. This is just bringing the colours up to that bone colour. So and just do some of these. Okay, and if you need to, go over it a little bit more. Once some of the paint's dried, go over again, just build it up a little bit more. And bring it up. So we get the beginning stages of skull face. So as I said, I'm going to go off, do the rest of this, and then we'll come back for the next coat. So, see you in a minute. Right, okay, now we've done that, it's time to go up one more level, and that is time for good old favourite bleach bone. Doesn't really show up on that sort of colour. So, what we're also going to do is we're going to use a smaller brush this time as well. So, we want to put a little bit more detail down. So again, I want to make sure our paints are thin. Now luckily this has come out relatively thin right off the start, which is good. And what you want to do as well, let's see if I can angle this down so you can see. Okay, so what you want to do is just get the tip, that's not showing up at all, just the tip of your brush with paint on it. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. what we want to do is we want to go, focus in, we want to just go around the ridge line now. You see, really make it pop out. Okay, go for some of the high areas, bring it down, but don't completely paint over the commando khaki side of things, and definitely don't go to the brown. Because we want this sort of colour gradient to happen. Paint's underneath the tank now. So, what we want to do is just touch this up. As you can see, these MIG brushes are actually pretty astounding. I hate to say it because I used to sort of be reliable on GW, say no, it's just the person, it's not the tool. But these MIG brushes are pretty awesome. You can get some really nice detail out of them. So as you can see, this thing's starting to pop out of us. And when it comes to bits like the teeth, sorry, I just knocked the camera there. I'm going to go back to our good old dry brushing. And we're just going to dry brush the teeth. Make them pop out. So this thing, the skull, is starting to look mean. I'm really starting to pop out at us. So I'm going to go around, do the rest of the tank, and we'll move on to the last step in a moment. So catch you in a moment. Right, okay, we got that bit done. So we're now going to do the last layer, and that is mixing some bleach bone with white. So gonna just put a dot of that down. Mix this up. Some people go all the way to just doing white on it. Nah, not really my style. I like it looking a bit more bone coloured rather than just pure white, because skulls and bones are rarely ever white. They're kind of, if they are white, they've been polished. So, and these are not polished bones. So, we've watered this down a bit. So let's give you a little bit of a close up on what happens now. So, focus, there we are, right. So what we're going to do now is again go around the very topmost layers, and we're only going to put tiny amounts down now. Okay, and this is just bringing it out. Really making it pop out. Let's see if I can do some teeth. So, about there. I think that will be enough. So there we go. And that's how we do bone bits. So I'm going to do the rest of the tank, then we're going to move on to doing the red on the wings. Then we're going to do a boring part. And then, hopefully, we're going to do a fun part. So, catch you in a moment. Right, okay, next bit. So, we've now done our skull stuff, all the bone colours. Now I want to work on the wings. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go old school here. I'm going to use this scab red, because I'm old school like that. And we're just going to lay down a base coat. It's a be careful of this bit, guys. You want to make sure you're not painting over anything else. Red's one of those colours, if it goes down, it doesn't come off easily. If it does come off, you usually lose a tint or a stain down there, so you want to be a little bit careful at this point. One of the few points in this tutorial where I am careful. So if you put it down nice and thick as well, you don't necessarily have to water this down that much. I would suggest always watering down your paints a little bit, because otherwise you get kind of, the paint's too thick and it creates a sort of texture, and that's not really what you want. You want detail. If you water it down, you get the colour without the texture. Obviously, if that's what you're going for. So, sorry if that got stupidly loud then. It was, I've got my sort of face quite close to the picture and the camera's right in front of it, so. Also as well, guys, I would always strongly suggest every time the paint stops coming off your brush, wash the brush, get a new load of paint on, because otherwise paint will stick to the bristles and it doesn't come off again, and your brush starts to deteriorate, and before long you know it, your brush isn't going to be as effective as it was. So, as well, also a big thank you to all the guys on Facebook who saw my tank, the work in progress. Even my friend Matthew Murphy Kane at Forge World said some of the Forge World designers were looking at it, so I was like, ooh, got the interest of GW. So apparently there's a few guys in Forge World that started doing night lords, probably because the new books. I'm guessing it's on its way. So yeah, I think it's got a bit of attention. So, but again, thank you to all the guys on Crusade and Heresy and pre-heresy painters, especially the guy that said it made him happy in his pants. That was yeah, that's the first time I've had that sort of comment or compliment, I guess. So whatever floats your boat, dude, basically. So but right, okay, so there we go. There's our red bit. First base coat down. I'm going to do the other side and then we'll do the next coat up. So catch you in a moment. Okay, right, so we've got that one down. We're now going to move on to the next layer up, and that's adding in blood red into the mix. I have no idea what it's called these days. I'm pretty sure it's not blood red or something as simple as that. It's something stupidly long word because possibly a copyright issue or something like that. I don't know. Or they just like to give it their own title. To be honest, I'm old school. I like the old terms, the old paints. I mean, yeah, everyone evolves and moves on, doesn't like change so much, but blood red's easier to say than Mephiston red, or something to that degree. So, what we're going to do is, after my little rant there, okay, we are going to wait for the camera to focus. Okay, we're going to put our mix, and this time we're going to get around the edges. Okay, we're going to just do the spines here. Sorry, I've got to kind of shift it so that I can see properly and get the right brush strokes. Okay, take your time with it. Then what you also want to do is do the inner membrane of the wings, but don't go all the way to the top. Stop about maybe a third away from the top. And it starts adding a bit of a shadow effect. Hoping you can all see this and how it's coming out. As always guys, I am sure there are other people that do it different ways. Have a look, see if there's any tutorials online. To be honest with you, for Night Lords, I haven't seen that many, which is why I wanted to do this one. People have said how they've done things, but no one's shown how they did it. So this is me showing and doing my part for the community and how to do Night Lords. So yeah, there you go. Starting to get a bit of a pop out. I'm going to do the other side and then I'll move on to the last bit, little bit. So catch you in a moment. Right, okay, so we've done that bit. Now we're going to do the last little bit. And that's add in some of this old school blazing orange. Now I'm on my last strokes of this, so I'm kind of lucky to get some of it out. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to do after that, but what we're going to do now is, as well guys, I would strongly suggest mix it with orange. Don't mix it with white. Want to know why? It comes out pink. It's not good. Not good at all. So what we want to do is, again, we just want to go around the edges very slightly. As you can see, I've gone down to the smaller brush. Okay. We don't want the orange dominating, we just want it to be the highlight. You know what, as well guys, I was looking back through some of my videos and looking at other people's videos and stuff like that, and I realised I've got a very monotonal voice, and a very dull one. So the one sort of major contrast I saw was the great Jojo Man, and he makes me laugh every single time I watch those videos. It's the amount of swear words that guy comes out with is astronomical. I would do it myself, but I'm trying to be sort of PG-13, if that's the way Americans would say it. Basically be sort of so anyone can watch it and it don't have to be censored. However, it's not that I don't want to, I'm just trying to be sensitive to all audiences, if that makes any sense. So, sorry, that might have been with the glare on it there, but let's see if that'll focus in. There we go. As you can see, the orange, and make sure you thin down the orange as well. But yeah, there it is. So, catch you in a moment, guys.